Hello, Superboy Beyond fans. Welcome back. It's Tom and Chris here with another one of our Superboy commentaries. We're back to season 4 with an episode that we could have sworn that we've done before, but might have been lost.
I don't think this is one of the ones that was lost. I think this is just one that we've talked about so much that it's just we got it into our heads that we'd done this one a long time ago, but apparently not.
Yeah, it is the season 4 episode, Darla Goes Ballistic. This is one of the best episodes of season 4. And also, it is a highlight to see Tracy acting.
Yeah. I mean, I think Sherman Howard said that he wrote this episode purely. No, he did write this one, didn't he?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. And like he'd written this one purely because Tracy hadn't really been given a chance to show what she could do. So he just wanted to give her an episode that was, where she was the focus. And it's wonderful to see because, let's face it, we all really like the character of Darla. We kind of wish there'd been a second episode with her as the focus. But I guess No Line Enemy, she's given a fair bit of acting to do. That's probably her second best episode.
And the way that episode ends, it kind of writes her out of continuity.
Yeah. Because she's not going to stay with Lex at the end of that episode. But
because at the end of that episode, she realizes just how much of a psychotic son of SOB he is.
And how little he actually cares for her. That's probably the thing that hurt her the most. Even after Darla Goes Ballistic, where he seemed like he was coming around and starting to actually, have some emotion towards her. Very next episode, nope.
In fact, it's only between Darla Goes Ballistic and No Thine Enemy, it's only one episode in between them, and that's Paranoia.
Yeah, it's literally the very next time we see them both. She's gone, which is interesting. I think that actually works. Maybe Darla Goes Ballistic was the start, but then, No Line Enemy is her final straw. But yeah, shall we get going?
Yep. So as you guys know, this is not a typical reaction video. You're not going to see any clips of the video. There is going to be a very heavily filtered version right up there, just so you can keep in track with us. It's not a replacement for the actual episode, so you can't use that to watch it. It's just a tracking mechanism so you can keep in track in case you got to go to the bathroom, phone rings, somebody comes to the door, you need a snack, whatever. Okay. So we're going to count you in with a 3, 2, 1 play, and let's get started. So get your copies ready. It is season 4, episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Episode 5. Darla Goes Ballistic in 3, 2, 1, play.
So here we go. So yeah, the focus is on Darla on this episode. Well, how does she refer to herself in this one? The classiest broad in the whole world or something?
Classiest dame on the face of the earth.
That's it. Classiest dame on the face of the earth,
Which
as morbid as it
definitely
is to
brings
say,
back...
like that's the kind of quote, as morbid as it is to say, that's the kind of quote I would want on my headstone.
Yeah. It sort of brings back, the whole idea of Darla that we've been, talking about over the years, that she's, the way she portrays herself is how somebody who went from being poor to having money thinks class is.
Yeah. Got to say as well, just from the jump, it's always nice seeing Lex Luthor portrayed as the mad scientist.
Yep.
Because I mean, we talk a lot about how this version of Lex is very sort of Silver Bronze Age, but in terms of just his intelligence,
of the John Byrne era thrown in there.
Yeah, he's got enough of the scientific intelligence and knowledge to really make him a threat. If he, if he was actually completely serious about killing Superboy, he could have done it by now, I imagine. But he likes to toy with him first.
Yeah,
he wants to torture him a bit before he kills him. And we just look at mind games.
Yeah. And I think that this episode was actually written either around the same time or before Change of Heart, because remember, Change of Heart was originally planned as a Lex episode,
Mm.
instead of Tommy Puck. But then they realized that they couldn't have Lex as a reformed villain,
Yeah.
because the way he is in this, it's not like he's running from the police or anything. They bring him into the bureau, and nobody is gonna arrest him.
Mm. I imagine that Sherman Howard wrote both episodes around the same time, but he probably was given some, prior knowledge about where it was going, just purely because we know that
Yeah.
seasons 3 and 4 were shot simultaneously, which is why the costume sometimes swaps back and forth. It's why he gets the season 4 suit a few episodes before the end of 3. So who knows? Maybe there was a big reshuffling. We've theorized that season 4 was heavily reshuffled a few times, haven't we? That's
Yeah.
why there's 2 clip shows back to back. One of
Yes.
which has clips from an episode that hasn't even aired yet. Like, yeah, the evidence is clear to see. And this is interesting as well, because he just said how many months he's been working on this formula. Maybe that's why he's not in Change of Heart. He was busy working on this. Like, not the smartest thing to do, but I mean, that's about to be rectified, I guess.
She does go a little over the top with the ripping things up. I've
I
seen.
always just put that down to the fact that the serum is taking hold and she's having a sort of Hulk freak out moment.
It's the one of the very, very few times that I think her acting was a little off.
No, I think it works because she goes from so manic to just completely calm. It just highlights the difference in her. I think it works. I love the look of fear on Lex's face just there because he's like, "Oh, I'm screwed now," because he knows that he's mistreated her, and now she's smart enough to actually do something about it.
Yeah. The only problem that I have with this formula and how it acts on her is it's putting knowledge in her head that she shouldn't have. I mean, the capacity to learn things should be there.
I just took that as, if she was ever told something, she's remembering it now. Like, she's just smart enough to work it out. Like, just she's that intelligent. She can just look at something and know. That's how I always took it anyway. Kind of like the movie Limitless, where he remembers seeing like Bruce Lee in a movie, and suddenly he can do kung fu. Like, it's just that's how I always took it anyway. I love those old style radios. Why did we ever stop trying to make stereo systems look classy? I mean, they just look so boring now. They're just, they're just round. They're just, yeah.
Yeah. There's no class to them.
No. Do love the costume that they've got her in for this one. Easily her most iconic outfit.
Yep, the Bird of Paradise outfit.
With all those buttons just sewn to the front. That has to have been a custom job, surely. I mean, I know the 80s had kind of strange fashion, but I doubt you could just walk into a shop and buy that.
And it's very funny how, when she starts taking over, you can see this switch in their relationship. Lex becomes the henchman and he's chafing under it.
It's very reminiscent to Road to Hell, where we had the
Yes.
alternate Lex and Darla. Yeah, I guess if she's capable of psychokinesis, she would have just enough intelligence that she could just look at things and know if they're right or not. Maybe it's a similar thing to when, in All Star Superman, when Lex gets Superman's powers and he starts looking around and he realizes all the things he can do, just seeing what he's now seeing. Maybe it's a similar sort of story.
Yeah.
Do you know what's kind of amazing?
What?
Even when they had someone like the bank manager or whoever he's playing, when they had him on wires, he flew better than Dean Cain.
Yeah.
Like how they managed to keep his end up like he was, horizontal. Yeah. I guess it just shows what a good wire work team can do. Because I won't put the blame on Dean Cain. I think he just didn't have a good wire work team.
Well, remember the wirework team that they had on this show was the wirework team from Superman the movie.
Indeed. I love that Lex is such a whipping boy that she's even getting him to lick her envelopes before sending them. And I also just love the idea that they're leaving a message for Superboy, that they
And
kidnapped
kidnapping
Clark.
Superboy.
Yeah, just brilliant. It's always fun when they do stuff like that. Not as cool an outfit, this one, but still not bad. I mean, she dresses classy. She dresses like the classiest dame in the world,
Yeah.
I do like this lair that they've got for Lex. It's a really cool set.
It's definitely better than the underground prison set that they had previously.
Mm. Although I didn't hate that one either, but this one's better. It's more atmospheric. I love the fact that it's like this old wrecked. They're in like the roof of a building by the looks of it, and just the fact that you can see through parts with the light spilling in, just really cool looking set.
Yeah.
Now, I almost wonder if this is a reuse of a set from another episode. Like maybe they're actually in the barn from the end of Test of Time or something, but they've just like put up an extra couple of walls and brought in a desk
Mm.
because they did that a lot. I wouldn't even be surprised if this was a redress of part of the bureau set or something. They've just put up a few extra walls and changed up the lighting. Probably not though. Such a shame that Sherman Howard is often left out of lists of the best live action Luthers.
Or
Because
if
even
he
in
is on
those,
there, he's very low.
yeah, but I think like, especially when he brought up the comedy, like he had the comedic side of Luther from the Silver and Bronze, but he could be so menacing at the same time. Sherman Howard just succeeded in playing just every aspect of the character.
And now we find out what's going on here.
It's kind of ironic that Lex is worried about a global Holocaust right now, but one episode later, he's doing it himself.
Yep.
I guess he just wants to be the one to do it because maybe his robot's not complete yet or something. He just doesn't want the world ended before his robot version of Lena is complete.
And this is one of the best scenes in the episode.
Hmm. Yeah, I always like the comedic Clark Kent moments like that. Doesn't matter which version of Superman it is, it's always gold.
Yep.
Oh, we've got a Peterson mention, you know.
Yep.
It's a shame that's all we ever got in seasons 3 and 4, but I like that he does still get mentioned from time to time.
It's nice that they didn't forget that he existed.
Yeah. Unlike TJ, who, apart from the first episode of season 2, is just never mentioned again, despite being the son of one of the most important characters in Superman comics. Hey, some shiner that Clark gave him as well.
Do you think
I like
you'll
that every now and then Clark is toying with Luthor just the same way. Like, that was a definite poke at Luthor, you know. He's enjoying, you know, torturing him a bit for once.
It shows that he is human in his interactions.
And let's face it, there are certain supervillains who Superman will absolutely talk to like they're a piece of shit. And Luthor is definitely one of them.
Depends on the iteration. Because there are some iterations where he's still holding out hope that Lex will rejoin the side of the Angels.
Yeah. I suppose even in recent comics, I really liked during the Rebirth era when Lex was briefly redeemed and he had his sort of Superman armor suit on, with the big white S on the front. I really enjoyed those comics. It's a shame that he was basically turned into a villain again, almost between issues. Like, it was so throwaway when he fell back to being a villain. It's a shame. Man, they're almost going full on Bride of Frankenstein with her hair, aren't they?
Yeah. The only way it would have worked even better is if there was a black streak in it.
Yeah, just do the opposite of Bride. One black streak instead of one white. Yeah, Tracy's just brilliant in this scene. Gives her more depth than she's got in any other episode.
Yeah, and it shows in this that all the times where she's acting like the quote unquote ditzy blonde, it's just an act. Because she's not as stupid as she portrays herself to be.
She probably just finds that Lex is a lot more agreeable when she does that. And Lex isn't someone that you want to piss off too often.
Yep. That was a little conspicuous what he just did, putting the formula in. She's standing looking right at him.
Yeah. I would have poisoned the glass or whatever before pouring the champagne, just so it was a little bit less obvious.
Yeah.
But yeah, Lex, considering he's very rarely shaken, even by Superboy, the fact that he's so terrified of Darla in this, I just think is a really fun touch for the episode.
Well, remember,
You probably know.
he only respects the mind.
Yeah.
So anybody with greater mental abilities than him is going to freak him out.
Yeah. Plus, he knows that he's, mistreated her their entire relationship. And now she could actually, she could make his life a living hell. Yeah, Tracy's just brilliant in this scene. And the thing is, she's smart enough in this moment to know that he's bullshitting when he says that. But she still, she knows she's probably going to die if she doesn't actually take it. Or maybe it's just a love is blind type thing. She believes it because she wants it to be true.
Yeah. I see shades of the Batman animated series Mad Love in this.
Oh, yeah. Darla is very much like a prototypical Harley Quinn, for sure.
Yeah.
It's funny how she lost the accent when she became intelligent. Kind of a weird choice.
It just proves my point that the accent, the ditzy blonde attitude, it's all an act.
Just like there at the end when she winked and turned off the computer, showing that she does at least still have some of her powers.
Yep.
Again, such a shame he didn't get a 5th season, because it might have been cool to see that reveal happen on screen. But I guess it's just like one of those endings in Superboy. It's like the end of Super Menace, where Metallo gets the red kryptonite. It never came up again, but it still makes a good ending.
Indeed, indeed.
So that was season 4, episode 5, Darla Goes Ballistic.
Yep.
Another really good episode. I don't think it's quite as good as Kryptonite Kid, but I wouldn't give it less than an 8.
Personally. Definitely an 8 here. Acting is top notch. It really
Tracy's never been better on the show. I think this is by far and away her best performance.
With the performance in the next time we see her, Night of Known Dynamy, coming in a very close second.
Yeah, very close second. And that is a better episode in my opinion, but it's it's not quite as good for her performance, just purely because she's not given as much to do in that
Yeah.
episode. Yeah. Really, really solid episode. 8 is about fair. It's a shame Darla didn't get a few more spotlight episodes. I think she's brilliant. I think Tracy Roberts did a great job playing her. She's, as much as we really liked Leo in season 1, Darla is probably the better character of the two, in my opinion.
Indeed. It would have been nice. We've said this before. It would have been nice to see, Leo stay around, and maybe there be bickering between the two of them to give them both.
That would have been
something to
brilliant.
do.
It would have been like an odd couple situation. They're polar opposites of each other. Like, yeah.
Yeah, and both are kind of infatuated with Lex.
Yeah, that would be weird. Like, it'd be a sort of a strangely twisted love triangle on screen.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, both of them competing for Lex's attention, which would be very odd. Yeah, I think that would have been great. That's literally my biggest thing about why I think it's a shame they got rid of Leo. It's just because I think Leo and Darla together would have been dynamite. Like, that would have been so good.
It worked so well in Superman the movie with Otis and Miss Teschmacher.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to say, I mean, did Lex have a second sidekick in Superman 4? But he didn't. It was only Lenny, wasn't it? Which is a bit of a shame.
He had Lenny, and then he had, the
Nuclear
nondescript
Man,
girls.
kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had nondescript girls, and then he was just Lex living in a hotel room where he just kept having characters come in and out, probably because Gene Hackman didn't want to be on set very much. So it's like, set almost all of my scenes in this one room. That'll work. Yeah. Anyway, really good episode. 8 out of 10. Perfectly respectable score. And but I think that's it for this episode.
Yep.
Unless you've got anything else you want to bring up for this one.
No. I think we've pretty much said it all.
Yeah, and it's cool that if you want to go on online, there are pictures where Tracy Roberts wears that white outfit with the buttons on. Like, she put on the outfit again, I think, for some convention a while back. Like, I think it was about a decade back now. But it's cool to see her in that outfit again. So if you're a fan of this episode, if you want to see what that outfit looked like at least about a decade ago, it's cool to see. I would say in this instance, Google is your friend, even if Google isn't anybody's friend most of the time. Especially not anymore, now that they're introducing all those AI search results that aren't even accurate anymore.
Yeah.
Just Google is just getting worse and worse. But going off topic now. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you next week. Goodbye. Hey everyone, just a quick announcement. Thank you for staying to the end. We have a special guest on the show next week. It's a guest that people have been asking us to get on the show for a long time. I'm not going to say who it is yet. It's going to be a surprise. So we've got about a week to speculate on who it might be. It's an interview that people have been asking us for a long time. So that's all I'm going to say. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.